our minds and our brains are as important as our health. So if you listen on to this presentation, I think you'll be blown away. Okay, so I'm gonna just pull out the slides that I have prepared for all of you today. And I hope that, before I begin, I'd like all of you to take this time now. Maybe it's after dinner, maybe you just came home from work, but take time now to breathe slowly so that you can absorb. Your brains will be in the alpha state. Breathe, take 3 deep breaths. And each time you tell yourself what a wonderful day you have, and you're going to be absorbing new information. And the second breath of gratitude that we're still breathing and we're great and our family is great. And the third is, it's time to open our minds to today's presentation, okay? And I'll also explain to you why I did that exercise before I begin, okay? So not all of us know, right? I'm sure. Oh, hang on. Okay, I'm sure all of you know that our mind is responsible for everything that we are. Am I right? It's how we think, how we feel, how we react, how we interact. It's everything. Our mind makes us. Don't you agree? Our mind is everything. How our body works. In fact, how we choose our judgment, how we choose the people, how we choose our decisions, our personality, how creative we are, how our body works, our choice of food, what you ate for dinner, your choice of food. Who do you think was responsible for that? Or what do you think was responsible for that? It was that one organ that we neglect whole lot. It's our mind. So, and the state of our health is far more important than our body, because I will show you why. Okay? Because it's that simple. Now you know your brain is responsible for everything you. This small little thing that only weighs 2% of your entire body's weight controls everything that's you. So how important is this brain? So make no mistake, if your brain works right, you work right. But yet, when your brains are troubled, when your brain is troubled, you will have more troubles in your life. Agree? You can't cope with challenges. You have difficulty remembering, coping, multitasking, making right decisions. Even the food, right? They always say, oh, that fried chicken or the dessert is there, but the mind is willing, but the flesh is weak. No, the mind was weak, because you don't have a hurt mind did not have the capacity to make right decisions. If your brain health is affected, you didn't have the capacity, the neurotransmitters, the healthy brain cells to help you make better decisions. Okay? So nothing is more important than this mind. Although it's 2% of your entire body weight, guess what? A third of what you eat every breakfast, your dinner earlier on, it uses about 1/3 of those calories to fuel your mind. And you know what? It's got billions of connections, more connections than the stars. Can you believe that? The stars, the galaxy. That's how much your brains work and how much there is in this little cap here. That's how amazing our brains are. And because I guess it's just that 2% of our entire body weight, a lot of times it's really neglected until what happens? Until we forget, until we can't cope, right? So your brain is your most important asset. And guess what? It is also the most expensive real estate in your body. Well, let's think about it. How much time, how much have we taken care of our mind? Have we? As I was doing this presentation, I felt so guilty. And the next coming slides, may trigger your anxiety, okay? So, but it's not all doom and gloom, because you can accelerate your brain's health to make it degenerate faster, or you can decelerate. So that's good news. Isn't that exciting? You can accelerate and you can make it worse in a much quicker pace, or you can decelerate. So that's amazing news. Yes? Yes? Okay, those who say yes, put a one in the chat. Put a one that is good news. So whatever we have done to harm our brain's health, we can reverse that. Okay, put a one, put a one, put a one. Okay, let's put a one. Okay, now how do we harm our brain functions? Okay, one, brain injuries. I mean, that's a no-brainer, right? So after reading this, and I get so frightened of my good friends, kids who play rugby and they play soccer and they hit their head and stuff like that, right? And that's brain injuries. That harms. And they have done so much of studies now, those sportsmen who use their head a lot, there's a lot of brain injury there, memory loss, etc. Massive studies has been going on around this, okay? Because don't forget, your brain's at 2%. The consistency is like softened butter, okay? No doubt the scalp, it's a hard, but it's rich, right? So you can harm, okay? Of course, we already know I don't need to explain drugs, alcohol, but guess what? I want to mention obesity. My gosh, okay? I mean, this is something that was like, it hit me uh, like a comet yesterday. When it comes to your brain's health, the size of your brain matters, okay? When your weight increases, your brain size literally decreases, as well as its function, okay? Obesity, all right? Of course, diabetes as well. And of course, and it's so funny, sad, it's really sad, which is the standard American diet, which is what we have today, right? The Shake Shacks, the A&W, the high-fat diets, and all these really affect the performance in our brain health, as well as what I call ANTs, the automatic negative thoughts. The thoughts that come to your mind and say, Joe, you can't do this. You've never done mine. You're not a doctor. You can't do this. All these negative thoughts harms your mind, right? Okay, so the next time you have these thoughts, go for the N killer, and then you ask yourself, is that true? Okay, so therefore, now you know what harms your brain. How can you accelerate? Okay, one of the main thing is I want to share with you, it's positive social connections. So the people that you mix around with determines your longevity. I was like, my gosh, and why? If you surround now with friends who keeps you negative, naysayers, affects your ends, right? And the kind of choice of food and lifestyle they live, people are contagious. You just live, and then you know what? Your friends determine your longevity. So you know what? Friends out there, be really careful who you're hanging around with, okay? And then new learnings. Like today, all of you are having new learnings, right? Those of you who have already had some new learnings, put a 10. Put a 10. New learnings means your brain starts connecting. All the dendrites and neurons are connecting, and you're growing, okay? And therefore, there's a lot of, now I know there's a lot of truth when people say, when you stop learning, you start dying. Exactly. When you stop learning, the brain cells start to die, okay? And that's why. One other thing is sleep. Oh my gosh. In the last research statistics in 2011, the average person was only sleeping about 6 hours. And that's really bad when we need 7 to 9 hours. And in the history of human evolution, with the amount of data, noise, workload, stress that we have, our minds were not built to do all that. Okay, so we need our 7 hours sleep. So when we don't have enough sleep, guess what? Our blood pressure goes down. Okay, and that affects our brain. Okay, so exercise, meditation, etc. And when I said to breathe earlier on, and I said give gratitude, right? So our minds, we want to remove more ends, am I right? And these are the seeds. You know, all these negative thoughts are the seeds of depression, anxiety, and these are bad. So, you know, people who are in depression, they take Prozac. I'll tell you what's better than Prozac. Gratitude. If each of you write 3 things before you go to bed every single night, I promise you your happy factor will go up in 3 weeks. So those who don't believe me, do that every night. Write 3 things you're grateful for and tell me your happy level 3 weeks later. Okay, I'm hoping to hear from all of you. Okay, so there are many things in physical exercise. So all this, your diets, your great diets really help us. And brain food. Okay, brain food. We need as much as we need our amino acids, you know, for our muscles and calcium for the bones. Our brain needs brain food. Did you all know that? Apart from omega-3, did you know that? So you can improve. Okay, the good news is you can accelerate your brain functions, right? You can improve your brain functions within 2 months if today, with this knowledge now, you start to make right decisions and take right actions. Not just know these facts and then don't do anything. Okay? So, with a better mind, with more clarity, more focus, more balance, everything in your life becomes better. Not just your health, because why health? Because you make better choices, right? Food choice, you're more in control. When sleep goes down, what happens? Appetite goes up, you eat, right? So your health, and you don't have that control, because when craving sets in, you don't have the control to stop your prata, your suppers, your kaya toast. It's difficult. Your chapati is difficult. When you're better, your moods are more controlled. Guess what? You build better relationships, whether at home with your friends, at work, or anywhere else. You build better interpersonal relationships. Okay. Of course, at work with mental clarity, we can multitask better. And of course, at studies, you know, children's studies. Kids these days don't have the childhood. I used to say that I had bad childhoods, over studying and tuition and all that. But today's kids are way worse. And you can imagine the next few generations to come. So, and they're coping and the stresses of life, right? So everything works better with a better mind. Okay? Are you all enjoying and learning something so far? Thumbs up. 10. Any 10s? Perfect. Okay. So when I say great diet and food, and I say great food, not the SAD food, the food that makes the body sad, the mind sad, and everything sad, right? Not the SAD food, right? Because food is either medicine or it is poison. The food can either help to nourish every single part of your body, or it can be toxic to your body. Okay? You know, I read somewhere, of course, I just earlier on said that anxiety is bad. It's a seed of depression and attention deficiency. So many other factors, right? But having a laissez-faire attitude, I want to share with you. There was a research being done, okay, that the children of parents who had this don't worry, be happy, had shorter lives. You know why? Because they were totally not concerned with their health at all. So they just took it easy, okay? So I hope that this information was enough to give you a little bit of anxiety to re-look at your health, and especially your brain health, because your mind is really everything you, okay? So, and if the mind is everything you, what are you made of? What are all of us made of? We're all made of memories, whether good or whether bad. We learn something and we cherish our memory, right? And do you know that with Alzheimer's, one of the other things that has a common denominator with diabetes and high cholesterol and brain health, etc., one other common denominator, and that's also obesity, having high body fat. Okay, so that is one main source that causes Alzheimer's as well. So, and our memory is very precious to all of us. Now, what are we? Think about it. What are we without memories? All of us, when we go for holidays, and you know, if you go to your Facebook now, everybody's taking food pictures to keep memories. But if you can't remember, then what? What are we without our memory, right? So now, so the memory and our mind, like I said, is one of the most precious asset, and as well as the most expensive asset that we have. Okay. Now the first few part of the slides was done up by me. Now this next few slides are the amazing slides that can be found on your website. Okay, so maybe some of you have gone through it, some of you have not gone through it. I'll go through this so that If you didn't understand what the slides meant, I can now break it down to bite size to tell you more about this phenomenal product that's an amazing brain food that's that the ingredients are so synergistic to help promote so many things that all of us need. And in the coming slides, I'm sure you'll be quite blown away, right? Okay, so I don't really have to really elaborate, why our memory is so important. In today's day and age, we have so many things in a split second to remember, right? Data, children, work, and now even with COVID, people think that things slow down. I don't think so. I think our speed, it was escalated in the times of our appointments and our work. Everything has gone because we're like so connected and so contactable. So can you imagine how frustrating it is when someone tells you something, or your child tells you, I've learned this, I just can't remember. Or you pick up the phone, or just 2 days ago, I had someone at my door who was wearing a mask and talking to me and calling me by name, and I didn't know who it was. She removed the mask and she says like that, like Mila, and she put it back on. I still had no clue who it was. And we had a conversation and all, and then after that she left. I walked behind her to find out, and I realized that she lived a few doors down the road, and it was somebody that sold me the house that I'm staying. Can you beat that? Can you imagine how scary it is if we can't, if our memory, who has this problem? Your memory is somewhere there, but you cannot pull out the data, the retrieval of data, right? Because there's so much of mental noise all around us. We can't remember. We're really multitasking, right? And I know they say, yeah, men can't multitask. Okay, so I have the solution for you today. Okay. So why is mind what I call an ounce of genius? Because after studying, I know the CERA-Q and the L-theanine and GABA and all that, right? But each amazing, they by itself, each key ingredient by itself is really amazing already, okay? So I'm going to go to the very first one first, not the CERA-Q, but the L-theanine. Okay, that's one of the key ingredients. Now, hang on, I'm going to just move this here. Okay. Now, L-theanine essentially is an amino acid, right? Now, the slides here show that it reduces mental distraction and performing and supporting a calm state of mind, okay? Now, as you know, those people who are facing depression and mood swings, etc., when you take medication, it is mostly sedation because you're high in anxiety, right? So to calm you down, the side effects of sedation happen. Now, L-theanine doesn't have that side effect of sedation, right? It reduces your mental stress, okay? And then the amazing part is not only do you not feel non-sedated, but it increases your mental functions. So I've had people who say that, upon taking mine, and immediately it's like a switch in your mind being turned on. And people have been telling me as well, oh, when I'm stressed, some people say I don't feel anything. Okay, when you're not stressed on a normal day, for example, you're watching TV and you're not stressed, and you take mine, you may not see the effects, because the beauty about L-theanine is that when your anxiety is at the base rate, it doesn't do anything. But when your anxiety, it's up there. When you're stressed over a presentation like this, which is why I took mine, right? I have a presentation coming, or an exam, or the kids are now mugging for exams because it is 2 weeks before prelims or 2 weeks before A's or N's or whatever, right? And then what happens? You notice that when you're studying on a regular basis, you can remember. But yet, during the exam time, and like, example, you're going for a presentation and you want to speak, introduce the speaker, and you suddenly forget, I can't know who the speaker, you're in stress mode, right? And when you take mine, at that moment when you need it the most, which is why when you listen to Dr. G, it's clarity and mental capacity when you need the most, because that's how it's activated when your I guess your anxiety is up the base level. That's where L-theanine kicks in to calm you down, right? And not only it brings your anxiety down, giving you a more relaxed state of mind, but it increases mental functions and performance. Isn't that amazing? So you can perform better without the anxiety. So therefore, this is why we have L-theanine in as one of the key ingredients. Okay, I'm just gonna look here. I was gonna tell you something, and suddenly in my excitement, I can't remember. Okay, so this L-theanine is an ingredient that is really an enhancer for individuals experiencing any kind of neural overstimulation. So stressful environments, going for an interview, etc. So this is something that's pretty amazing. Okay. Now the next the next ingredient that I want to talk about is GABA, which is the gamma aminobutyric acid. Okay. Now this essentially is a precursor in our mind. So our brain already um, produces this neurotransmitter, so it is there. But studies have shown that people, for example, with ADD or attention deficiency and you can't concentrate, it's when your brains have low levels of GABA, right? So therefore, when we have this additional GABA in the product, the benefits is that all of us, we are really having extended studying, extended work, etc. So basically, this fights brain. Okay, so somebody talking there. Okay, so GABA basically helps helps reduce brain fatigue. It calms the nervous system as well. So it works synergistically with L-theanine. It calms. And most importantly is it brings the brain down to alpha state. So during the daytime, most of our brain waves are in beta because we're problem solving, etc. Right? But studies have shown that when you want to memorize things, right? Your brain's work memorizes and retains best when your brains are in alpha state. So one of the benefits of GABA is that it helps to bring your brain waves back to alpha state. Okay, so that's GABA. And then we have, of course, the amazing, what I call the NELT, which is the N-ACETYL and L-TYROSINE. Okay, now this is the master precursor amino acid that's involving your happy hormones, your dopamine, etc. So it calms you down. It promotes more mental alertness as well, mental clarity, mental sharpness, and optimizing your brain functions when you're at mental fatigue. So this is an excellent when you're like studying and you have difficulty concentrating. And kids nowadays, attention span is not like what we had, and they have difficulty focusing. These are the key ingredients that is in our amazing little packet of mind. Okay, and of course, the most important CERA-Q, which is a protein isolate from a silkworm cocoon. Okay, now this is a proprietary ingredient that only Jeunesse have. Okay, and it supports memory retention, specifically for facts, for numbers, for data. So it retains and you can recall better. So first you want to be calm, you want to perform better, and then you want to reduce anxiety, have better brain waves, and then have more memory accuracy and recollection. And that's why it is so formidable. Now there are many products in the market that are so-called brain food, but none as yet that has clinically proven results. Okay. However, this is basically the history of CERA-Q. And in fact, this was from the East, okay? And it's in hundreds of years. And that's, but however, with our Dr. Vincent Giampapa, he made everything. Now, there are many ingredients here within this little packet of mine, the L-theanine and all that. But there's been a lot of controversy about these products not being bioavailable, that it can't cross the blood-brain boundaries, okay? Well, what are the blood-brain boundaries? The blood-brain boundaries is there's a little semi-permeable membrane that surrounds your brain to protect toxins from getting in, okay? But the amazing thing is our products are bioavailable. And that's why the clinical results are so phenomenal. Okay, I'm going to show you the clinical studies that's been done based on mind. There was a placebo control group. Okay, those of you who are not familiar with what placebo control group means, there were 3 groups of studies. Okay, so that's why it's reliable. A placebo group basically essentially means a group that was given, they were told they were given a product like mind to help enhance their mental capacity, calmness, reduce mental distractions, etc. But it wasn't. It was just a random product, okay? But this to test whether the effects were psychological. Okay, so that's a placebo group, okay? So I'm going to show you the results. Hang on a bit. Look at that. World recall memory, statistically 90% of its base. With 1 packet of 200 grams of CERA-Q, the recollection was amazing. And with 2 packs, even more significant. This is how amazing. We want to remember things, right? Not just to remember at that moment, but when, like example, the person whom I saw at my door, I couldn't remember her name. I don't know where I met her. And it was only much later that I realized, oh my God, she stayed in that house. I remember it looks like Noah's Ark, and I bought the house from her, you know, so it's pretty amazing, right? So this will help memory recollection, okay? And this is for digital symbols test. So can you see the placebo group? Before they did a test, and after there was no change, of course, because you know it wasn't the product. But those who took 200 mg, right, saw an amazing 11.3% improvement, and then with the 400 was 22.2%. It's really, really amazing, okay? So apart from, you know, the CERA-Q basically boosts memory efficiency. The kids are going for an exam. You need to go for a presentation. You want to know, remember things, right? Because remember, right, you're either trying to get better or your brain is just dying, right? So there's so many things we can do, and one of the things we can help ourselves is have better brains. Then we can make better decisions in our lives. And you know what? You'll notice your self-discipline, your judgment, your choices will be much, and your moods, our moods are so much more controlled when we have better mental health, okay? And as you can see, I mean, this comes to the end of the mind presentation, but I want you to see how the yes system is so amazing. You saw earlier my slide, the things that harms your mental health. And one of them was obesity. And then there's inflammation, there's environmental toxics, and etc., right? So can you imagine when you take mind, and yet with the range of synergistic products that help you with your weight management, your base immune system that helps cellular health, it just builds from one another. So this mind is one of the key. After studying and doing a research for all of you today, you know, I cannot not say this. I think for me, at least, after this presentation, this will be my key product, because this forms my character and who I can be. Because if you don't have a state of mind, you want to be, but you can't be. This allows me to be who I want to be. Okay? So I hope this very short, brief presentation was not too, scientific, because I just wanted you to understand how much your brain means to you and how neglected it is, and how we can empower ourselves by now knowing what harms your brains, your mind, and what helps your mind, okay? So now it is really time to make the most of your mind, okay? And now we have a few testimonials. So don't just hear from what the presentation that I prepared for you, hear it, and as I always say, hear from real people who have taken this without the presentations, and see what they have to say. Okay, the first person I do want to bring up, it is amazing gentleman I've had the privilege of working with, traveling with, and he's an amazing human being who is so kind to us. He's a very busy individual. He's an entrepreneur. I'll introduce more. But this amazing person is Tushar. Tushar, are you here with us today?
Hi,
So
everybody.
thank you for saying yes. Thank you for being willing to be my sharer, and only because I know, Tushar, you were of all the products, you were totally resistant to taking this. This was the last.
And now it's the best.
You did every single thing except this, right?
Yes. Now I'm fastest to the finish line with mine.
Okay, so Tushar, can you first, want to tell us, what benefits, did you read from this, and why is it, and why do you think I called you?
Sure. So you're looking lovely in yellow.
Thank you. Oh, wait. We're in yellow because yellow is the color for mental stimulation, enhancing your mental faculties. Yeah.
I learned something new. I thought it was red, so I put on red with my yellow. So anyway, Joanne, thanks for inviting me and giving me the opportunity to share. Um, Mind is phenomenal. I resonated with a lot of what you said, and there, when I take mine, which is very often, right? Because I'm fatigued. I'm out at all hours of the day and night as well because my work requires me to talk to people all over the world. At 6 o'clock in the morning, it's in the evening in the US and in Europe as well, right? So it really depends on where my conversations are. With Mind, I found that it's one of those products where I personally felt an immediate gratification. I didn't have to wait more than 20 to 35 seconds at most
Wow.
to really have the explosion, the internal explosion. And people look at me sometimes, right? I say, yeah, just give me a second, right? And then when I'm back on the video calls, and when they see me, they see my face smile all of a sudden, like, hey, so what happened, right? I mean, you just had a moment, right? It's, yeah, I have that moment every time I have my mind, because it is so immediate, and it's actually so nutritious as well. It tastes great. It works even better quietly, but you can tell. So for me, Mind is my go-to for focus when I need to be really alert, and when I get off a plane. I travel a lot, so when I get off a plane and I have to rush to a meeting immediately, so that whole jet lag and fatigue and everything, Mind on the way to my meeting really refreshes. I don't need to reach out for coffee or tea. When we were doing Zen, right, I learned that caffeine has a lot of benefits, but it also puts a lot of bloatedness into you. With Mind, I didn't have to worry about the bloatedness, and it was a caffeine replacement for me. So I am really, really into Mind now. In the current situation, as you correctly said, it's very important to be with positive people and maintain a very positive psychology. Mind puts me into that spirit, so I'm less dependent on other people as well. So I think it's really great. For those that have not tried it, go pick it up immediately. It's amazing, and you will experience the internal explosion. All right, back to you, Joanne. Thank you.
Amazing. So what I was gonna say is that, and that's how mind works, right? Because some people who didn't face, I mean, for example, if when I'm setting and I say, "Oh, try mine," and they say, "Okay, I don't feel anything," right? Like I said earlier on, you're a busy individual. It's so hard to get you. That's why I'm so grateful. I guess because of COVID as well. I'll say thank you, COVID. Because of COVID, and you're always trotting, and you're sort of busy business person. So this to me was like that moment when I drank it, was like that button that went twang, and then it kind of like, and for me, if you're sensitive enough, you can kind of feel that moment coming on. Do you get that?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Always. Every time I crack open a sachet and I put it in, immediate explosion in my mind. It's just the real awakening moment. Yeah.
Okay, so Tushar, would you like to share with everybody, I mean, a little bit of yourself, your background and, yeah.
Wow, that's a tough one. So I'm Singaporean. I was born here, and I was introduced to Jeunesse by a dear friend of mine, and then I met all these wonderful people. And yes, as humble as I want to be, the reality is that I'm all over the place. I'm a listed company director. I'm
Thank
involved in my
you.
own business. I'm very involved in the trade chambers as well. I'm on the board of directors, consultant, advisor. But that's just me, right? And I think all the people that I've spoken to about mind and have taken it, I think a lot of them have come back with very positive
Feedback.
comments and feedback, and so it's part of my daily routine, right? So I take it anytime that I need to, keeping in mind that it works immediately, and I personally get about 4 or 5 hours of effect from mind. So I'm very aware of that as well, and I'm just so more active, alive. um, and you walk into any meeting, whether it's social or commercial, people like to be around positive people, right?
Exactly.
So this is
Vibe comes
something
out
that
different, right?
absolutely, it just brings out the positivity, and it's very infectious. It's like a smile as well, right?
Yes.
You put on a smile that's natural, and very quickly everybody around you is smiling as well. So we're happy people. We spread happiness, and the mind is the most important organ of your body.
Yes.
Without the mind, nothing works.
Thank you. So friends, I just want to say how happy I am that I managed to get my hands on Tushar, because you heard his background and he's an amazing friend and human being. One of the things that I wanted to mention was that, I was so impressed. He had this book on his table, and so he is in this amazing book, called The Jewels of the Gujarati. So this book of the Gujarati celebrates the top 100 in the world for their accomplishments and their contribution to society. And this amazing Tushar Doshi is there. So thank you so much. We're also privileged to have your sharing. And I learned so much from you that in a matter of seconds you had the results, and it lasted you for 4 or 5 hours. There you go. I didn't know that fact. Thank you.
Thanks for giving me the opportunity, Joe, and all the best. Good luck with everything you're doing and the rest.
So very much. Thank you. So you can see that you hear this amazing sharing from this amazing human being that I respect so much from. So this is how it helps an individual who really multitasking, mental fatigue. And I'm sure you know how much thought goes into our minds all the time, right? And you need your mental faculties about you all the time to make better judgment, to make better decisions all the time, right? And this is how it benefits all of us, especially in times when we're coping with anxiety, stress, being at home, HBL, etc. Because you want to be that positive environment in your own home, especially right now. Okay. So the second person we are also so privileged to have today doesn't come from Singapore. Her name is Fran. Fran, are you here? Fran?
Yeah, I'm here. Hang on.
Okay, so friend, this amazing lady from Kuching.
Just
And
hang
oh my,
on.
and oh my God, okay, she's one
You.
of the few when mine was not even launched. Okay, I want to share with you. Okay, she's also a Ruby director with Jeunesse, but hers is an amazing story that brought me to tears. So she's my final sharer, and I want you to listen. Okay, she has an amazing daughter. She flew all the way to Singapore previously to give her sharing with Wan Chi. And this, her sharing, will resonate with all moms. When I heard how Anne, her daughter, struggled with studies and went to her, you know how we are parents when our kids who are not lazy, but studying, and they tell you, Okay, before I say, and a friend, it broke my heart because my daughter is a bit like me on the hyper, and she has anxiety issues, and that's why I take mine. Okay, so she has anxiety issues, and I think Mary was with me. She was studying, and just 2 days before her paper, she came to me, like literally with her textbook, not textbook, because A levels is just notebook, and she was like wailing, friend. She was wailing, and she's like, I don't know what am I gonna do. I can't remember anything. I'm reading, but I don't understand. And then she says, Mom, it's in English. It's not even Chinese, it's in English, and I can't understand. So I massaged her, give her a foot massage. Well, I didn't know anything. I didn't know anything I could do. So it was on YouTube when I was searching for information, and I saw, and because I just went through that, and I said, I'm going to beg friend to come on and give me that testimonial. Because by the way, guys, of course my daughter takes mine, but I wanted friend to share her testimonial. So friend, it's all yours.
Thank you so much, Joanne. Hi, everyone. And I know familiar faces, and I miss you guys a lot. And then, anyway, that was probably 5 years ago when Anne, my daughter, when she was in the year, let me see, year 9. And it was very tough. And she would come into my room and say, Mom, I don't think I can do it. It is so tough because year 9 they have a streaming, so she is sitting for her Cambridge. And that was equivalent to like form 3 locally over here, but she's in international school. And she was telling me, he said, Mom, he said that I don't think I will be able to study. I hate to disappoint you, Mom, worst come to worst, you just marry me off, and then I'll have a couple of children, and then you'll be a grandma, that's it. She's totally given up. And she was lying beside me, in my bedroom, and she was crying. It broke my heart. It did. And I still remember very freshly in my mind, I was so lost. You know, I do not know what to do. She has tuition. There are teachers coming in to give her personal tuition one-to-one. Still, her marks range from 15 or 0. Highest mark was 30 marks. She was not able to pass. And she was giving up already. That very year, Jeunesse launched Mind. I am so, so grateful, to not only Wan Chi, to Dr. G. When I saw it, I was like, no, it can't be. It can't be so coincident that I really need this and this is here. I begged Wan Chi because she went to Orlando, and I said, babe, you need to bring at least 2 or 3 books for me. My girl is sitting for exam, please. And when she got back from Orlando, I was on the next flight. There are no mine in Malaysia here. I'm in island of Borneo in Kuching. So I took the next flight out just to pick up that 3 box. And it was only about a week and a half before her exam. And you know what? I am forever grateful she got straight A's.
Oh,
Straight A's her result. And from then on, it was so amazing. And then she is from that little girl who are non-confident, who is always down, who is always depressed. She doesn't have any friends. She was looked down upon. She became, she lose weight. She knows what she wants to do. And she keep topping the class from then on. And, and today, something else, she took up A level even recently, and she was in arts class because she didn't have the confidence. But last year and this year, she never take ed math, and also she never take physics. For the first time, actually, she jumped into physics and ed math. She went from fail all the way to A, and that was her result. And that's N.
oh, that's my end.
Yeah. And she went from that year after she took mine. Not only she topped the class all the time, she got straight A's in her O level, and also she's waiting for her A level result right now. So she hasn't stopped, and she was the top speaker ever since she started mine, and she got probably 20 medals for her swimming and the rest. It's just so amazing. I do not know how to thank Dr. G for that, you know. So it's I'm speechless. And Joanne was talking about kids with ADHD. I just want to share with you. My son is a ADHD, and he doesn't have how to say that, no attention span.
Yes.
His attention span is very short. Yeah. And O level, he also used to fail his exam all the time. When he sits for his O level that time, I gave him mine. For the first time, he passed his exam. From then on, he went up to diploma to study being a chef. And he passed his diploma. And not only that, you know, mine has taken him so far. He was actually asked to work in Park Hyatt in Australia as a chef. And then now he's back doing his degree.
Wow.
And this mind, although you take it right now, tomorrow you forget, or day after tomorrow you forget, it still is going on. Meaning to say that it doesn't mean that, oh, tomorrow you don't take it, it's no more there. It lingers on. It's still like, you know, nourishing your mind, you know, all this sort of thing.
Yes.
So it's so amazing.
Because it basically helps.
Forever grateful.
Yes, because it helps your neurotransmitters, and it kind of heals, repairs, and enhances your neurotransmitters. So it's not instantaneous. Yeah, I love your sharing. I mean, I can't wait for you to be in Singapore. So friends who are here today and listening in, don't take this information.
The most amazing thing was, I think the video that you saw, I myself was stunned. You know, for somebody like Anne, you know, who can even hardly pass the exam, she was able to like by heart 200 pages of her exam.
Wow, it's so memory amazing. Recollection, guys.
Yep. And it was like she's been tested. Yep. And remember, she was tested on this, you know, people was asking her, and she was like non-stop. It's like how the brain, you know, after taking mine, it is just, you call that powerful, you know, and it's amazing, so amazing. And she's still taking mine, and she's sitting for her Cambridge final exam. Thank you so much for the, you know, to mine and to Dr. G. Today, honestly, she knows what she wants to do. Before, if you ask her, she said, I'll just get married and then that's it, you know. She has no goal, nothing, and very sad, you know, and depressed and all this sort of thing. But she's a totally different girl right now. I just told Wanji, I said that, you know, she's studying, and then she's heading over to Australia next year, and then she's going to be a pilot.
Wow! Congratulations!
Thank you so much. Yeah, from zero, and then now she's totally a different girl, you know, and so amazing. You know, you guys, you know, don't know how good this mine is until you try it. Even in Sarawak, I'm the only person who actually carry mine in and out. I'm like a smuggler, you know. I go to Singapore, I pick up mine and I bring back. And yeah, one of my friends' daughter, I think she's autistic. The mother have not stopped buying mine from me for the daughter. She said that it's been so amazing. You can see her sitting down doing her homework. She just remind me today, some more, some more. I say, cannot go Singapore, sorry, have to wait. You know. So when you have it, treasure it. We don't have it. The last week, before your MCO, One of my daughter flew to Singapore to pick up the mine for N's exam. Thank you, Wanshi, and she got all the mine for me. So she carried 12 boxes back.
I hope all of you benefited from this mind presentation. And then I just want to impart one last message, and that is really focus and take care of your mind. Take control of your mind, because if you don't, your mind will take control of you.